So scalp, face and parotid gland, that means till now we were in the head region. Now this is the class when we are moving on to the neck. So how will you, which portion will you call as neck? From where to where it exists? Anybody? Anybody? Rough idea? Bony landmarks for the neck? Lower border of the mandible, we perceive it as the upper limit of the neck. Then if I would say in the center there is symphysis mentae, then there is lower border of the body of the mandible. Then at the lower extent in front, what is there? Lower extent neck का कहाँ तक बोलेगी? हाँ. She is saying first rib, but then the first rib is articulating with what? It is articulating with the sternum. So in the center there is manubrium sterni, and then there is one more bone which is articulating with the sternum, and that is the clavicle. Actually, because of the attachment of the deep cervical fascia, the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia, we call the lower extent of the neck up to the clavicle and not up to the first rib. Then clavicle articulates with the posteriorly. If we talk about the extent of the neck, clavicle articulates with scapula. There is an acromioclavicular joint. Then there is superior border of the scapula, and then scapula at the superior border of the scapula, actually it will be forming the lower limit, and posteriorly what else is there which is binding the scapula with the vertebral column. So in the neck what will be there? There are 7 cervical spines. So 7 cervical spine over here, then the superior border of the scapula is marking the lower limit, acromioclavicular joint, and then in the front there is clavicle and there is manubrium sterni. So this whole region which we are moving from the symphysis mentae and then posteriorly, we are calling that portion as the neck. And from today onwards, we will be talking about the structures which are there in the neck region. We will go from superficial to the deep structures. So what do you think, what all is present in the neck? There is sternocleidomastoid muscle, then there is trapezius muscle in the neck, then there are 2 tubes which are there in the neck. They are the trachea and the esophagus. So that means there are muscles, there are nerves, there are vessels, and then midline mein you have a thyroid gland. All those structures are there, but we will be talking about the side of the neck, and then the side of the neck, I would say, that will be divided into 2 triangles by a muscle. That muscle is the sternocleidomastoid. So anterior to the sternocleidomastoid there is anterior triangle of the neck, and posterior to the sternocleidomastoid there is posterior triangle of the neck. So we will be talking about the posterior triangle of the neck. So posterior triangle, can you make out the boundaries of the posterior triangle from here? Anteriorly, what will form the anterior boundary? The posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. If we are saying it is sternocleidomastoid, then it is attached to the sternum, it is attached to the clavicle, it has got 2 heads, then it is attached to the mastoid process behind the ear, and then it is attached to the superior nuchal line situated on the occipital bone also. We will be talking about that also. So posterior border of this sternocleidomastoid will form the anterior boundary for the posterior triangle, and then posterior boundary will be formed by anterior border of the trapezius. So that means, and then base is formed by the middle 1/3 of the clavicle. So the superior surface of the middle 1/3 form the base, and then apex is formed on the occipital bone, where the 2 muscles, they are not opposed to each other. There is a gap over there, but then where they are approximating on the occipital bone, we call that point as the apex of the posterior triangle. So this way, these are the boundaries of the posterior triangle of the neck. So again you can see the anterior boundary is formed by the posterior border of sternocleidomastoid, the posterior boundary is formed by trapezius, then middle one-third clavicle is forming the base, and then on to the occipital bone where these muscles, they are lying close to each other, I would say, then that will form the apex of the posterior triangle. So then you can see in the picture this posterior triangle is divided by a muscle which is crossing this triangle. So this is which muscle? Omohyoid muscle. There are two bellies of omohyoid muscle. They are the superior belly of omohyoid and the inferior belly of the omohyoid muscle. So this is omohyoid muscle. So its one end is extending from the hyoid bone, the body of the hyoid bone. Then it is lying behind the sternocleidomastoid, and then it is going downway up to the scapula. If you remember, near to the suprascapular notch, there was a point to which this inferior belly was attached. So these are the two bellies. So they are like attached. One end is attached to this hyoid bone, and the other end is attached to the scapula. And they have a common tendon or a sling to which both these muscles are attached. We will look at that. So neck is divided into anterior and posterior triangles by the muscle sternocleidomastoid. So boundaries are the posterior border of sternocleidomastoid, the anterior border of trapezius, the middle third of the clavicle, and then apex is formed at the occipital bone where these two muscles, they are approximating. So then it is on the lateral aspect of the neck. The floor is formed by the muscles which are covered by a layer known as the prevertebral fascia. Whenever we move like from superficial to deep, what all layers do we come across? There is skin, then there is superficial fascia, and then there is a deep fascia. So deep fascia in the neck is known as deep cervical fascia. It has got three layers. I will just be telling the names of all these three layers and how they are related to this triangle. Because again, this is a part, the posterior triangle located just behind the sternocleidomastoid. So when we go from skin to superficial fascia, then we come across the deep cervical fascia. So what three layers are there? So first, a few points about the sternocleidomastoid muscle, though you will be reading in detail in the anterior triangle also. So it is the key muscle in the neck which is dividing the neck into two parts. अगर ये दोनों से origin ले रही है clavicle से और sternum से, then it has got a clavicular head and a sternal head. And where is its insertion? Where is its insertion? Only to the mastoid process or to the occipital bone also? Its insertion is also onto the occipital bone. So its complete name is sternocleido-occipitomastoid. So there are two heads. So sternal head is taking origin from manubrium sternum, you know, superiorly where the clavicle is articulating with the manubrium sternal. The muscle is taking origin from that head, and then it is going upwards, attached to the mastoid process and then to the occipital bone also. We coming to that. So insertion is onto the superior nuchal line or located onto the occipital bone. So there are two insertions. Sternal head inserts onto the superior nuchal line of occipital bone, and clavicular head inserts into the mastoid process. You know that mastoid process is actually formed or it becomes prominent after birth because of the pull caused by the sternocleidomastoid. बेबी का नेक तुमने देखा, उसको नेक होल्डिंग नहीं आती है, धीरे धीरे वो प्रोमिनेंट होता है. तो जैसे जैसे ये मूवमेंट होता है, when the sternocleidomastoid it contracts, it pulls the mastoid process. So that mastoid is attached to the mastoid process. Then its nerve supply is by the spinal accessory nerves, and the proprioceptive sensations. What do you understand by proprioceptive sensations? जॉइंट का मोमेंट, मतलब अभी नेक कितना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ है, जॉइंट कौन सी पोजीशन पे है, दैट इज द प्रोप्रियोसेप्टिव सेंसेशंस. दे आर कैरीड, दे विल बी कैरीड बाय द C2 and C3 spinal nerves, and the spinal accessory nerve in the body supplies only two muscles. Can you name them? One was in the upper limb, one is forming the posterior boundary of the posterior triangle. That is the, what is forming, which muscle is forming the posterior boundary? Trapezius. So always remember, spinal accessory nerve, there are two parts of the cranial, the 11th cranial nerve. One is the cranial part and the other is the spinal part. So spinal part of the accessory nerve supplies only two muscles in the body, sternocleidomastoid and the trapezius. So two muscles, they are supplied, then the proprioceptive sensations are carried by the C2 and C3. So now what will be the actions of this muscle? What, अगर एक साइड का मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा, इसका ओरिजिन यहाँ नीचे है, इंसर्शन यहाँ मेस्टॉइड प्रोसेस पे है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा तो what will it do? What will it do? अगर दोनों कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेंगी तो फॉरवर्ड पुल कर लेगी, अगर एक साइड करेगी तो it will tilt the head downwards. So if it will tilt the head downwards, then it will turn the chin towards the opposite side. So that means the actions are, one side if muscle is contracting, it will rotate the face towards the opposite side. Then when both the muscles are contracting, they will flex the cervical part, they will pull the face downwards. Can it act as an accessory muscle of respiration? How it acts, from its origin or its insertion? From its origin or from its insertion? Its origin is from the sternum and the clavicle and its insertion is onto the mastoid. Mastoid का respiration से कोई लेना देना है नहीं है, sternum और clavicle का हो सकता है. So that means at that time its insertion is fixed and origin will be moving. So it acts as an accessory muscle of respiration when its origin is moving at the sternum and clavicle. So it acts only as an accessory muscle. जब deep breathing होगी, आप chest move कर रहे हो, deep breathe कर रहे हो, तभी सिर्फ काम करेगी, वैसे नहीं है. Spasm of sternocleidomastoid, it produces wry neck or torticollis. Both these muscles, the trapezius is also involved, but main muscle which is responsible for spasm of the neck, एक side बिल्कुल neck कैसा अटक जाता है, it can be a congenital condition also. In the babies also it can be a congenital condition. It can be because of the spasm of the sternocleidomastoid. So that leads to wry neck or torticollis. Both the things are same. The wry neck is the localized term and torticollis is a clinical term. So both are same. Then next muscle which we are coming across is the omohyoid muscle. It has got two bellies, the superior belly and the inferior belly. So you can see this is the superior belly, this is the inferior belly. So both of these, they will be like inserted onto a common sling located behind the this sternocleidomastoid. So origin is from the medial tip of the suprascap. This is the inferior belly of the omohyoid. Its overall, its insertion is onto the hyoid bone. That means it is including the superior belly also. And then you can see both these bellies, when they are inserted or when they are connected to a common fibrous tissue that is connected to the clavicle also. Did you understand its origin? Superior belly is taking origin from the body of the hyoid bone. Inferior belly is taking origin near to the suprascapular notch. Both these bellies, when they are lying behind the sternocleidomastoid, they are attached to a common fibrous sling, and that sling is attached to the clavicle. And this sling is formed by a fascia known as the omohyoid fascia. It is an extension from the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. So that means don't confuse it that it is attached to, it is inserted onto the clavicle or something like that. It is attached to the hyoid bone, then it is attached to the scapula near to the suprascapular notch. Only thing is a sling is attaching it to the clavicle by way of the omohyoid fascia. So again you can see this is the superior belly, this is the inferior belly, and both these bellies, they will get attached by a common sling to the clavicle. Now this inferior belly of omohyoid muscle, you can see in the picture, it is dividing the posterior triangle into two triangles again. जो तुम्हें नाम याद रखने हैं. अब don't talk. The superior triangle is known as the occipital triangle and the other triangle is known as the supraclavicular triangle or the subclavian triangle, because the subclavian vessels, they are located in this supraclavicular triangle. So inferior belly of omohyoid is dividing, you can see again in the picture the superior belly and the inferior belly, it is dividing the posterior triangle into occipital triangle and the subclavian or the supraclavicular triangle. So there are two triangles again. Now can you tell me the structures which will form the roof, which will form the floor, which structures will form the roof? Skin, superficial fascia. Then in the superficial fascia, which structures which will you encounter? Platysma muscle, very good. Or cutaneous nerves. So cutaneous nerves here will be coming from which spinal nerves? We are in the neck. Cervical which? Why okay, she is saying C3, why not C1, why not C2, why not C1 and C2? C1 has no cutaneous branch. Then there is C2 till what? C2 till what? Till C8, C4. Why? Because from C5 we have brachial plexus, and brachial plexus is supplying the upper limb. So that means neck is restricted to C1, C2, C3 and C4. Then C1 is actually, it has no cutaneous branch, so we are left with C2, C3 and C4. So then you people said there is skin, there is superficial fascia, there are cervical cutaneous nerves. Then what else will be there? Below the superficial fascia there will be deep cervical fascia. So investing layer of the deep cervical fascia, that will again, it will come in the roof. And platysma muscle which you enumerated. So posterior triangle is subdivided by inferior belly of omohyoid into occipital. Then roof is formed by skin, the superficial fascia, the platysma muscle. Then there is external jugular vein also. How external jugular vein is formed? You have read scalp and that face. How it is formed? Posterior one by one. Raise your hand. Yes, तुम बताओगे. हाँ. Vein, posterior division of retromandibular vein and the posterior auricular vein. Both of these veins, they will combine form the external jugular vein. So that will be there. Then the superficial cervical lymph nodes, the investing layer of deep cervical fascia, cutaneous nerves. Most of the books, they write the roof till the cutaneous nerve. This slide I have taken from net, they have included the spinal accessory nerve. Most of the books include spinal accessory nerve as a content of the triangle, which you people also have to follow. But because the spinal accessory nerve is plastered to the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia, I think these people might have considered it with the roof. Spinal accessory nerve is actually very superficial in this region. Even if an abscess, if it occurs in this region and somebody goes to drain that abscess, the spinal accessory nerve might be injured. But don't include it in the roof for your this thing. तुम्हारे books में roof कहाँ तक है? Skin, superficial fascia, platysma, external jugular, investing layer, and then the cutaneous nerves. So we will deal with it. What is platysma muscle? You know about that. From where it originates? कहाँ कौन सी rib तक है? बस मुझे ये बता दो. First rib तक है, second rib तक है. Second rib तक है. It is still the second rib. It is in the Superficial fascia or deep fascia? Always remember all the muscles of the face, they are in the superficial fascia. So that means from the second rib it is going till the angle of the mouth, then it is inserted over there. So platysma onto the downwards over the clavicle. I won't be going into the detail. What is the nerve supply of the platysma? Cervical branch of the facial nerve and then platysma is also known as, और क्या बोलते हैं ये जो मसल्स होती हैं फेस की, पेनिकुलस कार्नोसिस, इट रिप्रेजेंट्स दैट, वो जो स्किन मूव करता था. Then what are the tribute? The next content in the roof is the external jugular vein. So external jugular vein, you know that the posterior division of the retromandibular vein and the posterior auricular vein, they will be combining and forming the external jugular vein. Then you can see its tributaries also, which are there, which will be, so this transverse cervical vein, there is suprascapular vein, transverse cervical, suprascapular vein, there is anterior jugular vein, so that is also like going behind the sternocleidomastoid and joining into it. So all these are the tributaries and then they are also located. Again you can see the posterior division of the retromandibular vein and the posterior auricular vein, they are combining and they are forming the external jugular vein. The anterior jugular vein, the transverse cervical vein, the suprascapular vein. The suprascapular vein is it accompanies the suprascapular artery. If you remember, there is a suprascapular foramen, nerve नीचे से जाता है, vessels ऊपर से आते हैं, तो वो यहाँ से आके it will be like it is a tributary to the external jugular vein. Anterior jugular vein located along the midline, it is going there. Then the transverse cervical vein, these all are the tributaries of the external jugular vein. So they are all are the tributaries. So they might be found, or they are usually found in the posterior triangle, the transverse cervical, suprascapular, then the anterior jugular vein that is going into it. Next component in the roof is the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. How many layers are there in the deep cervical fascia? 3 layers. The investing layer, prevertebral layer, and in the mid there is pretracheal layer. So there are 3 layers in the deep cervical fascia. One is investing layer, second is the pretracheal layer, and the deepest one is the prevertebral layer. Now here you have to remember that investing layer, it goes laterally, it covers the neck like a collar. जैसे collar पूरा ऐसा cover कर लेगा, investing layer goes like that. Prevertebral layer is located anterior to the muscles of the back, or the muscles which are there at the back which are connecting the vertebra. Pretracheal layer is only in the midline, so that means it won't come in the posterior triangle. So which 2 layers you may think you may encounter in the posterior triangle? One is the investing layer that is in the roof, and second is the prevertebral layer that will be covering the muscles of the floor of the triangle, because they will be like located at the back, bridging this thing. So they will be covered by a carpet, and that carpet is the prevertebral layer of the deep cervical fascia. So that means this investing layer, its attachments are behind, it is attached to the ligamentum nuchae and spine, and then it is continuous with the similar fascia of the opposite side. ये अच्छा डायग्राम नहीं है इसको बताने के लिए. You can see this outermost layer, this is what do you think it is? It is the transverse section of the neck. So taken somewhere where we can visualize. This is taken at which vertebral level? C6 vertebral level. So what is located anterior to this C6 vertebra? Trachea, esophagus. Then this is the thyroid gland, which is located anterior to this vertebra. Then on to the lateral side, this is the carotid sheath enclosing the कैरोटिड आर्टरीज, इंटरनल जुगुलर वेन एंड दी वेगस नर्व. बाद में तुम इसे बहुत डिटेल में पढ़ोगे, पर एक हमने एक ट्रांसफर सेक्शन ले लिया C6 सर्वाइकल वर्टिब्रा के लेवल से, तो सामने से चलो तुमको ट्रैकिया दिखता है, थायराइड ग्लैंड पता लगती है, तो थायराइड ग्लैंड, ट्रैकिया, इसोफेगस, एंड बिहाइंड वी आर गोइंग टू द vertebra, you can see the spinal nerves, they are coming like. Now how the facial layers are covering the neck. So on very superficial, this layer is known as the investing layer of the deep cervical fascia. Can you make out something? This investing layer, is it splitting along certain muscles? It is splitting along which two muscles? Sternocleidomastoid, and behind this is the trapezius. So this investing layer of deep cervical fascia, it splits and encloses the sternocleidomastoid anteriorly. Again it combines, then again splits onto the other side. Then posteriorly it is again splitting and enclosing the trapezius muscle. Now this layer of like you can see deep to this layer, these paravertebral muscles, they are covered again by a layer like this. This is the prevertebral layer of the deep cervical fascia. And then this layer which is lying anterior to the trachea, this is the trachea. Why I am saying it is the trachea? Why I am saying, can you make out the shape of the cavity, why it is like this? Posteriorly what is there? Why it is not circular? There are C-shaped cartilaginous rings. So trachea is never circular. There are C-shaped cartilaginous ring which keeps its shape like this, and posteriorly this muscle is what? Trachealis muscle. So this is trachea, this is esophagus, and you can see this pretracheal layer, it is going like this, and then combinedly these layers are forming a sheath. That sheath is known as the carotid sheath. You will read all these things in detail. We are only concerned today about two layers only. The investing layer of the deep cervical fascia forming the roof, and then the prevertebral layer forming or covering the floor of the posterior triangle. So two layers, there are three layers in the deep cervical fascia: the investing, prevertebral and the pretracheal layer. Then they are forming the carotid sheath. इसमें बहुत सिंपली अलग अलग कलर से बनाया है. ब्लू कलर किसके लिए है? कौन सा लेयर है? इन्वेस्टिंग लेयर ऑफ डीप सर्वाइकल फेशिया. देन ये वाला जो ग्रीन कलर है ये किसके लिए है? Pretracheal layer of this is covering the thyroid gland also, but this is the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia. ये red color किसके लिए है? Prevertebral layer of the deep cervical fascia. Combinedly they are forming the carotid sheath. So its anterior layer is derived from pretracheal and posterior from the prevertebral. ये डायग्राम तुमको पता नहीं तुम कितनी जगह बनाना होगा. तुम ट्रैकिया के रिलेशंस दिखा सकते हो, इससे थायराइड ग्लैंड के रिलेशन दिखा सकते हो. So it will be repeated many times in the neck. Now next structure which is there in the roof, they are the nerves. Now which nerves? These nerves you have encountered, or some of these you have seen in the scalp. क्या क्या नाम है क्यूटेनियस नर्व्स के स्कैल्प में, मुझे बताओ. ग्रेट ऑरिकुलर, लेसर ऑक्सीपिटल. रूट वैल्यू C1 का कोई क्यूटेनियस ब्रांच नहीं होता है, तो सबसे पहला क्या है? लेसर ऑक्सीपिटल. For the posterior triangle per se, what we have to see is these are originating from where? They are like piercing this investing layer at the midpoint of the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. Now this is something which is clinically important because spinal part of accessory nerve also becomes superficial, or it appears in this triangle at the midpoint of posterior border of sternocleidomastoid मसल. तो अगर यहाँ पे कोई इंजरी होती है तो कौन कौन से नर्व्स अफेक्ट हो सकते हैं? स्पाइनल एक्सेसरी, लेसर ऑक्सीपिटल, ग्रेट ऑरिकुलर, ट्रांसवर्स सर्वाइकल, देन सुप्राक्लेविकुलर also you can see they are coming down. So this point is known as the nerve point. Okay, so clinically this is important, it should not be touched. So it is located, so these nerves are, so you know that lesser occipital we go in the occipital region. The great auricular, it will supply where? Great auricular, it supplies around the pinna, the parotid gland. Then a very important, it supplies the angle of the mandible. So it supplies the angle of the mandible. Then transverse cervical, it goes straight. Then it supplies the neck region till the sternum. Then we have the supraclavicular nerves. कल जो तुमने इतना वो बताया कि शोल्डर तक नर्व्स आते हैं, फ्रेनिक नर्व की रूट वैल्यू क्या है? C3, C4 and C5. And then supraclavicular का क्या है? C2, C3 and C4. तो फ्रेनिक नर्व का इरिटेशन कॉमन रूट्स दोनों में क्या हुई? C3 और C4. इसीलिए वो फ्रेनिक नर्व का इरिटेशन कहाँ जा रहा है? रेफर्ड पेन शोल्डर पे. तो सुप्राक्लेविकुलर रीजन, ये सुप्राक्लेविकुलर नर्व, दे आर रीचिंग, दे सप्लाई टिल द सेकेंड रिब. ये कहीं किसी MCQ में पिछली बार पूछा था कि C2, C3, C4 दे सुप्राक्लेविकुलर नर्व्स का लोअर लिमिट क्या है. इनमें से कोई एक जो है वो सेकेंड रिब तक जाता है. सो दैट मीन्स ये क्लेविकल के अबव है. इट इज दीज सुप्राक्लेविकुलर नर्व्स, दे आर लाइक कवरिंग 2 बोन्स बिहाइंड ऑल्सो. क्या बोन्स हो गई इनके पीछे? एक तो क्लेविकल हो गया, स्कैपुला तो पीछे है, आगे क्या हो गया? क्लेविकल एंड देन दी मैंडिबल ऑल्सो, बिकॉज दे आर कमिंग, सम ऑफ देम माइट बी कमिंग लाइक दिस. सो बोथ दीज बोन्स दे आर ओसिफाइंग इन मेम्ब्रेन. ये भी एक फैक्ट है, बिकॉज दीज नर्व्स आर क्यूटेनियस. तो वो हम बाकी सारी जो बोन्स है उनका ओसिफिकेशन किस में होता है? कार्टिलेज में होता है. एंड देन, और क्योंकि ये क्यूटेनियस है, so it is something which is related to the PG level, I would say. So again you can see this is the spinal accessory. now जैसे ही तुमने डिसेक्शन शुरू किया पोस्टीरियर ट्रायंगल का, ये दोनों बड़ी मसल्स दिख जाएंगी, ये वाले फ्लोर के फाइबर्स दिख जाएंगे. सबसे पहले जो नर्व मोटी होती है वो कौन सा दिखता है हमें? स्पाइनल एक्सेसरी. स्पाइनल एक्सेसरी के आसपास ही तुमको क्या ढूंढना है? ये सारे लेसर ऑक्सीपिटल, ग्रेट ऑरिकुलर, ट्रांसवर्स सर्वाइकल एंड देन दी supraclavicular. If you are able to make out all these going in 4 different directions. So this is the nerve point. So we will be seeing that. So floor, now coming to the floor of the posterior triangle. Now which muscles are forming the floor of the posterior triangle? Semispinalis capitis, then splenius capitis, then levator scapulae, you can read, So then scalenus medius and posterior. Scalenus anterior, does it exist? It exists, and sometimes it might be visible in the floor of the posterior triangle. क्योंकि हमारी limitation क्या है? किन 2 मसल के बीच में देखना है? Sternocleidomastoid और trapezius के बीच में. So sometimes some of its digitation might be visible in the posterior triangle or it might not be visible. Similarly, please, splenius capitis के ऊपर एक और मसल है, that is the semispinalis capitis. Some books take it as a content, some books do not take it as a content, but you might write because most of the time it is visible. हमने यहाँ जो देखे हैं, so semispinalis capitis, splenius capitis, scalenus medius posterior, some of the digitation of the serratus anterior also. First digitation of the serratus anterior, and sometimes the scalenus anterior might be visible or it might not be visible. So splenius, as this slide is not including the semispinalis capitis, but your books might be writing that. Then splenius capitis, levator scapulae, scalenus medius and posterior, first digitation of the serratus anterior. So floor of the triangle is like this. You can see these vertical fibers, if they are visible, then they are of semispinalis capitis, then splenius capitis, the levator scapulae. Spinal accessory nerve runs on levator scapulae. This is how you are going to identify the muscles in the posterior triangle in cadaver or in a live patient, because you will be visualizing what? Spinal accessory, and the muscle on which it is running is the levator scapulae. उसके ऊपर तुमको एक मसल दिख रहा है तो वो splenius capitis होगा, 2 दिख रहे हैं तो semispinalis capitis भी होगा इसमें. Then the other muscles are the scalenus medius, scalenus posterior. This is the inferior belly of the omohyoid which you are seeing. Then serratus anterior, and sometimes the some digitation of scalenus anterior. It might be visible or it might not be. Now these are the contents of the posterior triangle. Very important triangle. Most of the time it is asked in the exam. क्या है contents इसके? One very important content जो तुम पढ़ चुके हो upper limb में, but it becomes visible first in the posterior triangle between scalenus anterior and the medius, and that is the brachial plexus. Then you can see this is the third part of the subclavian artery which is visible. Then subclavian vein is there, because the lower triangle, the triangle which was lying below to the inferior belly of omohyoid was supraclavicular, or it was known as subclavian triangle. Why? Because subclavian and vein and the third part of subclavian artery, they were visible. Then spinal accessory nerve, the Erb's point, occipital artery, transverse cervical artery, suprascapular artery, cutaneous nerves. Now this slide is writing them as its content. Some of the books take cutaneous nerves in the roof because they are attached to the investing layer, then the inferior belly of the omohyoid. Now these are the contents. Now first of all, just look at your very own which you are used to. क्या root value क्या है brachial plexus की? It is formed by, how will you complete definition? Ventral rami of the anterior division of the C5 to T1 स्पाइनल नर्व. तो ये C5 to T1. अब इसमें मुझे एक बात बताओ, क्या पूरा ये जो ब्रेकियल प्लेक्सस है, इट इज लाइंग बिलो द क्लेविकल, अबव द क्लेविकल, और वी कैन डिवाइड इट इनटू सर्टेन पार्ट्स? We can divide. So there is a supraclavicular part, there is a retroclavicular part, and then there is an infraclavicular part of the brachial plexus. So what are the parts of the brachial plexus? There are roots. Roots are formed by C5 to T1. Then there are trunk. कितने trunk हैं? 3. Upper trunk, middle trunk and lower trunk. Then divisions, anterior division and the posterior division. Then division के बाद cord, medial cord, lateral cord and the posterior cord. And then there are the branches. So what we visualize in the axilla, they are basically the cords and the branches. And the roots, the division, the trunks, they are lying superior to the clavicle. So there is a supraclavicular, there is a retroclavicular, and then so it is formed from the anterior rami of C5 to T1. It lies in the posterior triangle between scalene anterior and the scalenus medius muscle. So जब तुम लोग देखोगे और उसको कनेक्ट करोगे, लिम्ब अभी लगा हुआ है, then you will be happy to see कि पूरा वो कहाँ से originate हो रहा है and how it is going to the axilla. Then next content which is visible in the triangle is the third part of the subclavian artery. Tell me how subclavian artery originates. It is a branch of, on the right side it is a branch of thorax. The 3 branches of the arch of aorta, what are they? Brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid and left subclavian. So left subclavian is a direct branch from the arch of aorta, and right subclavian is branch of the brachiocephalic trunk. So when the subclavian has arisen, it will divide into 3 parts. By which muscle? Scalenus anterior muscle. So the part which is proximal to, this is the scalenus anterior muscle. So the part which is proximal to the muscle is the first part. The part which is lying behind the muscle is the second part, and the part which is distal to this is the third part. Can you tell me the extent of the third part? From where the axillary artery begins? Outer border of the first rib. That means distal to this border of scalenus anterior, or we say lateral border of the scalenus anterior to the first rib. This is the third part of the subclavian artery, which is visible in the posterior triangle, and you will be seeing that. So now what are the branches of the first part, second part and the third part? Anybody, what are the branches of first part? Internal thoracic artery, Vanshi said rightly, कल तुमने देखा भी वो internal thoracic. It can be remembered by a mnemonic VIT. Vertebral artery, internal thoracic artery and thyrocervical trunk. Costocervical trunk on the left side is the branch from the first part, and costocervical trunk on the right side is the branch from the second part. and third part only gives one branch, that is the dorsal scapular artery. Dorsal scapular artery you have heard of. It takes part in the anastomosis around the scapula. So that means we are only dealing with the third part of the this artery, then the thyrocervical trunk. So again you can see in the picture there are certain branches. They are the transverse cervical artery and suprascapular artery. They are also visible in the posterior triangle, but they are the branches from the thyrocervical trunk. So two branches which are visible in the posterior triangle, the transverse cervical artery and the suprascapular artery, as they have to go backwards, they are coming to from the first part of the thyrocervical trunk. कुछ समझ आ रहा है? वैसे तो हम बोल रहे हैं कि थर्ड पार्ट ऑफ द सबक्लेवियन आर्टरी जो है वो मेन कंटेंट है, ठीक है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि फर्स्ट पार्ट की ब्रांच है थायरोसर्वाइकल ट्रंक, वो फर्दर ब्रांचेस दे दे जो इसमें दिख जाए. तो ऐसी दो ब्रांचेस जो दिख रही हैं वो कौन सी है? ट्रांसवर्स सर्वाइकल आर्टरी और सुप्रास्कैपुलर आर्टरी. So they are also visible, and then one more artery which is visible in the posterior triangle is the occipital artery. Occipital artery is the branch of, it is not a branch of subclavian artery, it is a branch of external carotid artery. You will read it in the carotid triangle. अभी पढ़ोगे external carotid किसका branch है? Common carotid. Common carotid कहाँ से आ रहा है? आर्च ऑफ एओर्टा से. उसमें कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है. तो कॉमन कैरोटिड डिवाइड्स इनटू इंटरनल कैरोटिड एंड एक्सटर्नल कैरोटिड. इंटरनल कैरोटिड डज नॉट गिव एनी ब्रांच टिल इट एंटर्स ब्रेन और द कैरोटिड कैनाल. द नेक and the face is supplied by the branches of external carotid artery. So one branch which is visible in this region is the occipital artery, and that is a branch of the external carotid artery. Rest all branches, they are coming from subclavian artery, either from its first part or from the third part. Then so third part of the subclavian artery, it lies distal. The artery is divided into three parts by scalenus anterior muscle. The first part is medial, second part lies behind, third part is distal, and then it continues as the axillary artery beyond the first rib. Then next content of the triangle is the spinal accessory nerve. इसका नाम spinal accessory nerve क्यों रखा है? क्रेनियल नर्व भी रख सकते थे, 11th क्रेनियल नर्व से रिलेटेड है ये. तो स्पाइनल एक्सेसरी क्यों रखा है? एनीबडी? यू माइट हैव रेड समटाइम्स, कभी तुमको कोई एमसीक्यू स्कूल में या ऐसे. व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड स्पाइनल एक्सेसरी? स्पाइनल नर्व के पास है वो C2, C3, C4, इसलिए, या कुछ और रीजन हो सकता है? Its main nuclei are located from C1 to C5 level of the spinal cord. This nerve ascends actually through the foramen magnum, then it enters brain, and finally it combines with the cranial part and comes out through the jugular foramen. You will be reading about this nerve in detail. We will be taking each nerve सेपरेटली. तुमको पूरे 12 क्रेनियल नर्व्स बिल्कुल डिटेल में पढ़ने हैं. तो स्पाइनल पार्ट ऑफ द एक्सेसरी नर्व हैज गॉट इट्स न्यूक्लियाई फ्रॉम C1 to C5 level of spinal cord. They will combine, a nerve will be formed and it will ascend through the foramen magnum, comes in the skull, and then it will come out through the jugular foramen. 9th, 10th, 11th cranial nerve तुम पढ़ रहे होगे ना, jugular foramen से क्या पास होता है? 9th, 10th and 11th. So this is 11th, but that 11 consists of cranial part as well as the spinal part. So this spinal accessory nerve, now this diagram, it is a handmade diagram. It shows the point that is known as the nerve point. You can see the spinal accessory lying, it will lying behind the sternocleidomastoid going to the trapezius. There are these nerves. They are also originating from this point. So this, sometimes an MCQ comes. Spinal accessory nerve is known as the genuine content of the posterior triangle. मतलब बाकी सब वो कहते हैं इधर उधर होते रहते हैं या नहीं भी मिलेगा या जो भी इन्होंने एक रीजन दिया है. This is the genuine content of posterior triangle. So one thing, it supplies which two muscles? trapezius and sternocleidomastoid. इतना बस तुम ये करो. So as it is the accessory part beneath the middle border of, you can see again in the picture. So this is the accessory. ना बिल्कुल ऐसे levator scapulae के ऊपर पड़ा हुआ. You will be seeing it runs downwards, crosses the posterior triangle on levator scapulae. So one must take care of this nerve point because many nerves are emerging also from that point. So the third part of the subclavian artery is also a content. So superficial cervical artery, it is a branch of the thyrocervical trunk, that is also a content of this triangle. So that is also visible. Then suprascapular artery, you must have heard the two names, the suprascapular and the subscapular artery. They were taking in part in, and a subscapular artery is a branch of ये थर्ड पार्ट नहीं, वो एक्सिलरी आर्टरी है, क्योंकि अब सब स्कैपुलर एंड सुप्रास्कैपुलर बोथ आर एनास्टोमोसिस. सुप्रास्कैपुलर is coming from the thyrocervical trunk, so it will take anastomosis around the take part in the anastomosis around the scapula. There is a condition which is known as subclavian steal syndrome. समटाइम सबक्लेवियन कैसे ओरिजिन ले रहा है, ऐसा आर्च शेप में है, ठीक है. इसकी एक ब्रांच है जो ऊपर जा रही है, दैट इज दी vertebral artery. It's one branch. Brain is supplied by two main arteries for your this thing. One is internal carotid and second is vertebral. कहीं आगे की तरफ से 2/3 हम कह सकते हैं कि internal carotid है और पीछे जो branches हैं they are of the vertebral artery. Suppose there occurs compression of the subclavian artery at a point so that the blood is not going to the brain. So that blood will be diverted where? Subclavian आगे क्या continue होती है? Axillary artery. So that blood will be diverted to the upper limb. So this is known as subclavian steal syndrome. मतलब blood is there, that is reaching to the subclavian, but it is not reaching to the brain. It is going somewhere else, and it is going where? It is going in the upper limb. So that means brain would be devoid of the blood. There are certain clinicals, so that is known as subclavian steal syndrome. It might occur because of the cervical rib also. ना उस वजह से भी हो सकता है. Then the occipital artery, it is a branch from the this external carotid artery, and it will be anastomosing with certain branch. Again you can see the floor of the triangle. एक बार इसमें बहुत क्लियर दिख रहा है. वापस से देख लेते हैं posterior triangle को. ये कौन सा मसल है? Sternocleidomastoid. Posterior boundary is formed by trapezius. Base is formed by middle third of the clavicle. Apex is formed at the occipital bone at the superior nuchal line where these two muscles are approximating. Then the roof is formed by skin, superficial fascia, investing layer of the deep cervical fascia, along with that cutaneous nerves, platysma muscle, external jugular vein, they all will be forming the roof. Then floor is covered by which fascia? Prevertebral layer of the deep cervical fascia. Which muscles are forming the floor? Semispinalis capitis, splenius capitis, levator scapulae, scalenus medius, posterior, first digitation of the serratus anterior, and sometimes scalenus anterior might be visible or it might not be visible. Then the triangle is divided into two parts by inferior belly of omohyoid into occipital triangle and the subclavian or supraclavicular triangle. One more thing, the spinal accessory also divides the occipital triangle into two parts. A careful triangle above and carefree triangle above and a careful triangle below. So there are two parts. The spinal accessory also, it divides it into two parts. So that you will be seeing. So what are the contents now? These veins are the contents: the external jugular, anterior jugular vein, transverse cervical, suprascapular and subclavian. Now regarding the veins, which I would say these anterior jugular, transverse cervical and suprascapular, they are the tributaries of external jugular vein. Subclavian vein is not a tributary of the external jugular. Actually, subclavian combines with the external jugular and then, no. Ultimately the internal jugular comes and the subclavian comes, and both of them, they combine and form the brachiocephalic vein, and right and left brachiocephalic, they will be forming the superior vena cava. So then the arteries which are there, the occipital artery is the branch of external carotid artery, subclavian artery, transverse cervical artery and suprascapular artery, they are the branches of thyrocervical trunk, which are the branches of first part of. Then nerves which are visible, they are the brachial plexus formed by C5 to T1, the spinal accessory nerve, and then there are branches of cervical plexus. अब यहाँ भी लिखा है, and then the cervical plexus is written in roof somewhere, so it's just where you want to consider it, they are located. So this is the platysma. I think the contents and the boundaries, they are covered. Regarding the applied part, I told you one applied is the Ryeneck or the torticollis. Then there was subclavian steal syndrome. Then we have to take care about the nerve point, which is located at the posterior border of mid of the posterior border of the. What is Erb's point? Where the C5 and C6 roots, they are meeting, that point is known as the Erb's point. तो वो जो C5 और C6 roots जहाँ meet कर रही हैं, that point is located in the posterior triangle where the brachial plexus is emerging. So that is also related, the applied part is also, that is related to the posterior triangle. So thank you so much.